All the sounds are allotted to the pads. You don't have to do anything extra. Just click on the default kit and suddenly Hey guys, and welcome back to Astro Music and Tutorials. I'm Majo and I'm here to talk to you guys about a new plugin. This plugin is a drum sampler by a company called Gospel Producers. It's called Loop Track. Now Loop Track is a one-of-a-kind drum sampler, like I said before, which contains over 400 samples of different drum sounds. Now these are samples that the good folks at Gospel Producers have been collecting for years, and they just decided, okay, why not put it all into a drum library, and on top of that, give it away for absolutely free. It contains 400 samples, 400 drum sounds. That's kicks, snares, perks, sound effects, toms, anything and everything that you can think of. Now let me show you guys what Loop Track looks like. As you can see, I have my trusty Impact LX25 here. You're gonna see why in a minute. Anyway, this is the plugin. This is Loop Track. It's modeled off a physical drum rompler. Right off the bat, you can see that there's a drum pad over here. It has a low pass, high pass, and a pitch knob. And that's to, mess with the sounds.
Well, duh.
So when I say that this rompler has 400 sounds, you can actually use the high pass, low pass, and pitch to modify those sounds, and which gives you basically another 400 sounds. And then over here we have the reverb fader, degrade, and saturation fader. And on top of that, we have the EQ. In the middle section, this is where you can find your drum samples. I'll show you how this works in a minute. And lastly, over here we have the volume knob. Looks pretty cool. So this is basically all you have to do. Click on any one of these sound banks, let's say kick, and suddenly you have access to all your kicks. I only have 8 drum pads over here, so I'm limited by that, so I can't access all the sounds. But you can use the keys here. And believe me when I tell you, every single white key will be a kick sound. That's how many samples there are. So you have access to so many different types of kicks. Same with claps and snares and snaps. Here are the kicks. There's so many snaps, perks, hi-hats, and cymbals, layered claps, 15 sound banks. And from the 15, this is what I like the most. It's a default kit. What this does is, the moment you load in Loop Track, all the sounds are allotted to the pads. You don't have to do anything extra. Just click on the default kit and suddenly, sounds are just ready for you. It's that easy. What you would normally have to do in FL Studio is load up FPC. This is what you use to use drum pads. And now for each of these squares, you have to allot a sound. Take a sample, drag it in, take a sample, drag it in, and that's how you set up the drum pad. But for Loop Track, you don't need to do any of that. It just comes pre-made with all those sounds. And if you don't have 12 pads, just use your white keys. Some of you might be wondering, why use the pads or keys at all? Why can't I just click everything in? Yeah, that would be what normal people would do, but doing this gives you a humanized feel on those drums. If you play it by finger, it won't be so quantized and it won't sound so robotic, which makes drums sound absolutely great. And yeah, so we take those sounds, we can add reverb to it. We can crush it by using the degrade fader. We can make it really punchy by increasing the saturation. And if you do want lo-fi stuff, you can just mess with the low pass, lower that a little bit. There's a ton of stuff you can do with this. Did I mention this plugin is absolutely free? There's also one more bonus thing. When you finally do decide to take your lazy ass over to gospelproducers.com to download this plugin, here's the Gospel Producers plugin. You scroll down to find the download link and you see this. Download community MIDI files. What are the community MIDI files, you ask? Let me tell you. Say you're a beginner or even an experienced producer who's going through a beat block or having a hard time coming up with beat patterns. Gospel Producers got you covered. This file contains drum MIDI loops by all these different producers. Let me show you how it works. First, you load up Loop Track. After you've done that, go to your first pattern and take any of these MIDI samples. Let's go with Chris Adams. Just take anything and drag it in to the pattern. And look at this. Now I'm going to hit play. Let's try another one. Let's go to another artist. Let's try another one. If you notice, that loop has a little bit of the D grade fader on, so it has that crushed sound. And I'm going to show you guys one more. Oh, they even have a lo-fi chill vibe. Let's check that out. Simple, yet effective. So let me just round up what I've talked about. Over 400 drum samples, and on top of that, hundreds of MIDI files. So you can just drag it in and have a drum loop ready to use. What more do you need? I'll be leaving a link to the website and the plugin in the description, so check it out. Thank you guys for checking out this video and staying to the end. I hope you guys like this plugin as much as I do, and I think you should definitely go check it out. It is free anyway, and we really like free stuff on this channel. Give this video a like and leave a comment on what you think of the plugin and if it has potential. And if you're new here, remember to subscribe. It helps us out a lot. And anyway, I'll see you guys next week.